That's the theme song, everybody. Hi, welcome to Hodgman and Friends. I'm John Hodgmen, bringing you the best in friendly conversation to New York City seatback entertainment in the outer boroughs. Only the green ones, I'm afraid. Today, my friends are the co-creators of The Venture Brothers, including the brand new feature film, The Venture Brothers. In Radiant is the blood of the Baboon Heart. Join me in welcoming, that's Jackson Publick over there, and right here is Doc Hammer, correct? Yes or no?
Absolutely.
Welcome to the show. Hodgman and Friends is the name of the show.
And per se and.
Yes, and indeed, you are my friends.
True.
Sometimes I have people on the show who I barely know. Sometimes I have foes. Sometimes it's Hodgman and foes.
Yeah. Hodgman and enemies.
That's right.
That sounds like a better show.
But we only have the one look.
Yeah.
And luckily it fits today because we've known each other for years. And look, I'm going to admit a certain bias. First of all, I like you both. Second of all, I've been a longtime fan of the Venture Brothers. Third of all, I'm in this movie. I want to tell you something right now, Doc.
With
Jackson.
that finger is horrifying.
This is how I treat my friends.
Here it comes.
Yeah, that's not friendly.
Yeah.
I've seen this movie. It's very good.
Thank you.
I really enjoy it.
Am I allowed to disagree?
No.
Because look,
Pretend to like
You have,
it.
you have no perspective on it.
at the filming of this, which is going to be on, I know it's going to be on seat backs in cabs.
Greens only.
Green only.
Outer boroughs only.
Which, when I may have told you this, I believe that the green cars were actually biofuel. And one time I hailed one. I thought, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to be green today and hail a green cab.
I'm going to save the planet.
I'm going to save the planet.
Oh, because of the color.
Yeah.
That's why you.
So I got in, and I told them where I was going. It was like 34th Street, and they're like, wrong cab.
Yeah. No,
And I
you
go,
can't
I got to go
above.
in the yellow ones, which they're not green. And he's like, it doesn't work like that, idiot.
And look, I don't want to talk shop with you guys,
Yeah.
but I'm going to tell you this right now.
Yeah.
As soon as rideshare came in, those green cabs, they stopped making new ones. There are only 7 left in the fleet.
Really?
That's right.
I'm so
So
sorry.
hi to all my loyal viewers. Radiant is the blood of the
Baboon Heart. Correct. We just finished it.
Congratulations.
Yeah. So it's not funny because we know every joke, which I don't
Yes.
think there are jokes in it anymore.
There are
Every
jo-
joke
there
is
are
2
jokes.
to 5 years old.
Yeah. At least, and I
For
don't
us.
remember them being funny in the beginning. Although this morning I woke up and I remembered a joke and I thought, at least that is in there. At least that joke.
But
is
did
What
it
was
make
the
cut?
joke?
The joke
made you
was,
As you were waking up
the
in
joke
bed.
was Dragoon going, it's like a job watching superhero movies.
Right.
Because I passed a poster of a superhero movie and I looked at him like, it's a job keeping up with these
Keeping
things.
up with the superhero movies.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, we got to say that out loud to people who buy DVDs still.
Right.
Which, if you think those green cabs are rare, DVD
DVD.
buyers.
There's only
yeah.
7 DVD players left.
Yeah.
I can tell you, I watched this movie last night. I'm going to tell you, it's full of jokes. It's very funny. Also a very good story.
What were you watching?
That joke didn't make the cut. Sorry.
Damn it, it's the only one I thought was still funny.
No, it's in
wasn't in
there.
it.
I laughed
Wasn't
at
in
it.
there.
I laughed at it.
Damn it.
But it raises the point that the Venture Brothers
Yeah.
was doing a hilarious and knowing pastiche of the adventure, Saturday morning cartoon, dare I say, superhero genre, long before it was a job to watch superhero movies all the time.
Yeah, well
True.
When did Venture Brothers season 1 come out? 1900.
Like, I think Spider-Man and maybe X-Men 2 were the only superhero movies out.
that was your whole
Right before that.
competition.
Yeah.
You were the big three. At
There
the
were
time.
no, yeah.
it was different.
It was 2004.
We were out
was
there
season
in the
one.
bus with Timothy Leary getting ridiculously high.
Sure.
And now it's the Coke commercial where they like to buy a world of Coke and they've marketed it. We were back in the real days. You know, we're just sitting there. Some of us have gained substantial weight. I grew a very long beard and I keep calling everybody man. But we're the old guard. So
You're the old guard.
So what these kids are doing today with we're just gonna crank this nonsense out. The geeks won, or did they? Bum, bum, bum. I don't feel like we're part of that. Does that make any
Right.
sense? Because I felt like I got lost. There's a point when I'm speaking where
Your pre-geek victory and post-geek
Yeah.
victory
Yeah.
at the same time.
We walked off the field victorious.
yeah, we were done.
Right.
And not even, and we didn't notice it it was becoming a cultural thing, that they had sold the revolution to the masses, because we're so baked in the back of Timothy Leary's van that we didn't know that it was over.
By the way, I noticed, Chris, you had a little drink here.
Yeah.
Do you mind?
Yeah, no,
Cheers. Cheers to the new movie.
Thank you.
I have to reach over.
L'chaim.
Whatever you do, don't lean forward, Doc. Make sure you're comfortable.
Why? Did you look into my cleavage?
You're reclining like a luxurious Om.
Yeah, right.
That's the blind salamander that only lives in caves.
Albino blind salamander, I would assume. Why would it
It's
grow?
never seen the light of day.
Why would it grow a color if nobody can tell?
Well, congratulations on the film. Did the geeks win or no? Yes or no, Doc?
Really? You want me to answer that?
Yeah, I do.
No,
You're
'cause
talking about the triumph of nerd culture.
No, nothing can ever win. It's impossible, because what happens is the minute the geeks show some sort of cultural power, they're immediately grabbed by big business and they're pushed to the side. Nobody can win. And I'm not being a pessimist.
No.
I'm just telling you how it works. So
I thought you were going to say it corrupts them.
no, I don't think anybody's ever corrupt. There's no powers against anything. There is just something called commerce that happens to exist. And if you believe that you can win in this mighty war of jocks against the nerds, it's impossible. And the nerds will never win.
Well, sometimes it happens, folks. I ask a bummer question. Meanwhile,
But think
hey,
about
it's
it.
my fault.
If the nerds won, the jocks are making money off them. So did they win?
Well, precisely. So. And now, no one else can make a movie if it's not a superhero
It's
movie.
nothing to cry about.
Well, speaking of nerds, Venture Brothers has, over the years, accrued quite a fan base. They were asked to submit some questions. They submitted, I believe, thousands of questions.
2,000.
2,000 questions.
2,000 questions.
Over 150 of them had Kim in it. Kim. We had
Kim, a character from one episode.
ancillary character named Kim that had
In 150 of the
three
questions.
lines easily.
Yeah.
Easily, yeah.
She was Hank's double date.
But these questions come from actual fans. They were winnowed down
Sort
to
of.
this number of them, which,
Last
hang
night.
on, let me see if I can still do it. 173, am I right?
No, it was probably like 40.
Okay. In any case, they were winnowed down by your very hands,
Last night.
cut out and taped onto these cards.
Or handwritten, yeah.
And I'm going to ask some of these questions.
Okay.
Would you like to cut the cards?
Ooh,
Yeah, I would.
we're going to randomize this. By the end, we'll just be go fishing it.
That's a bad back one. Wait, and then this, you would think that'd be first? No, it's last, John.
All right, that's the last.
Yeah.
The last question.
Yeah.
Well, no, that doesn't work because now this was always the same. I forced this card on you. That's a classic.
No, it's
A
not.
classic magician's
happened.
illusion. Comes from a fan.
Yeah.
How do we make Spanakopita an actual holiday? Spanakopita!
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 Here's
It's from the show, I
This is,
presume.
They need
from
to
a
do
show.
it, yeah.
This. You don't ask us how you make something happen. You go, I'm going to make something happen for the Venture Brothers. Did you get that?
I think there's a form you can fill out at the
Yeah.
post office.
No, there are
to
like-
make
Right,
a holiday.
to nominate a holiday.
There's National Cupcake Day, National Laundry Day. There's so many ridiculous. To have Spanakopita be a real holiday, you just have to get out there.
You have to make it happen.
Yeah, talk to your local legislation. I think just really hammering your comptroller with email after email.
Yeah.
For Doc, how many Yaz albums do you have on your phone?
Another one based on a show that we make jokes in the show that we make in real life, and that was. Here's the thing about Yaz albums.
Here's the thing about Yaz
If you have
albums,
two Yaz songs on your iPod,
Yeah.
they stick out like a screaming jazz song with techno backing, because that's what it is.
Right.
So if you hear two Yaz songs, they're like, do you have anything else on this besides Yaz? And the answer is, I only had like Upstairs at Eric's. That was it.
Right.
But every Yaz song it takes over every. If you have a Foo Fighters on there,
Right.
you won't notice it. 5 have gone by.
It's like putting sausage on a pizza. It's just you can take it away and the
It's
taste
still got,
is still there.
It's got that Yaz
You can't get
oil
away
all
from it.
over
Yeah.
your day
Or like
once you hear a
olives
Yaz
or
song.
something. Like it's just,
Green peppers.
You got Yaz.
The hell with them.
Yeah.
You don't like peppers on pizza?
I don't like a cooked green pepper.
They
Of
get
any
mushy.
kind?
They
It
get mushy.
just contaminates.
What about red pepper? They maintain their firmness.
I like all of
That's
them raw.
interesting
I like
because
all
the
of them
next
raw.
question is, what about red peppers? They
Yeah.
can retain their firmness. How do you feel about
No,
those?
because I don't like
I
green
like
peppers
that.
on pizza either. They get mushy and they're horrifying in color. But
And they're
red
like
peppers on-
they're the color of a Frankenstein mask.
What about grilled?
And they taste like one. They taste like one.
They taste like
the
a
inside of
shredded
Frankenstein mask.
rubber
Do you like
Frankenstein.
grilled
mask.
onions on it?
On a pizza? No.
Yeah. What do you like in
I
a
don't-
pizza?
Have you ever met before? The two of you? Haven't you ever ordered a pizza before?
We
in all
don't
the
eat
years you've
together.
worked
Are you kidding me?
We have vastly different eating habits. We also live 3,000 miles apart.
It
now.
wasn't always that way.
No.
No, but when we were together in the
Way back
right.
when you both lived
We
on the
stopped
East
eating
Coast.
together when you thought you got food poisoning.
did
when you
get
caught,
food
you caught my
poisoning.
stomach flu, but you thought it was food poisoning
From a rice
Thai
bowl.
restaurant that's
Yeah, from rice
closed
balls.
now. Yeah. From
Yeah.
rice balls.
From rice balls?
Yeah.
Yeah, but when you're in an astrobase, which sounds like a glorious place that
Yeah.
like should be hovering around a moon, it's a studio on like right off Christie Street, where there's like basically belt factories underneath us, and I'm in
the
a
beginning.
communal bathroom, vomiting and having diarrhea with sweat pooling around my ankles. That's what That's what happens when I eat with Jackson. That's what happens when I eat with Jackson. There's sweat
Sweat pooling around your
I could never do it again. He'd recommend a restaurant. I'm like, you're trying to kill me.
You
sir."
know, keeping some mystery in the relationship is how a productive collaboration continues.
It's true.
So now you know. Don't order him pizza with green peppers.
We know each other super well and
the
not at all.
holidays. Yeah.
It's a weird little thing
Should
we
have
got
asked people
going.
to ask questions that you should ask each other instead of me. Here we go. Was there anything, character, setting, plot, y'all, by the way, that's them, that's not me. I'm from
Yeah.
New England. I didn't say y'all.
I love y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, thank you very
I
much.
really embrace it.
We
It's
all love you.
It's a good one. No, I didn't. You know what I'm saying. I
Was
love it.
there anything, character, setting, plot, y'all had to do a bunch of research on for the show? Any note here, and they're sneaking in a second question. Any notable rabbit holes or new interests it led you to? Did you have to do any research?
So many. I mean,
What was a
yeah,
deep
both of
dive
us.
that you had to do? How about for this movie or for anything?
Every time we write an episode, we over research, and
Yeah.
it ruins the episode. And the last thing you do is pull out all of your research that you thought was so amazing and so clever. Like, that's got to go. That's ridiculous. Nobody cares who invented the train
You
track.
leave
Like,
one though.
all
You
this
leave
stuff has
one
to go.
little thing, that one little thread that you know they could pull. For this movie, a lot of beach movie trailers I had to look at.
Oh yeah, well
Beach
that's
movie trailers.
Beach movie 60s
Like beach
movie.
blanket,
I think-
bingo, that kind of
Yes.
thing.
Yeah,
like
when you do
Frankie
it-
and
Avalon.
how
Aesthetic
to
research is
tame a
How to Tame a Wild
bikini was one of them. Yeah. The Ghost in the Invisible Bikini was
no.
one.
We
These were-
I was just.
But I
we
had
were
to,
looking
I had
at
to
magnets
solicit,
to figure out if zero gravity could actually happen just enough for a comedy cartoon to happen.
Right. I had my friend Stanley, who did storyboards on the show. He's a like a space geek, so I had to tap him for a lot of space information. I didn't know a lot of things about the way weightlessness and orbit work.
Well, orbit goes around, and weightlessness, you
I
float.
didn't know.
What else do you need
I
to know?
didn't know that if you go into space, you're not just automatically weightless. You are only weightless by dint of the fact that you're in orbit.
So wait a minute.
Yeah.
As you're going up,
Yeah.
you
Well,
have
the only
weight
way
because
we
you're
can
getting
get to
pushed this
space is
way?
a rocket that is hurling you
Right, so you're being
20,
pushed.
30,000 miles. Yeah.
Yeah, but
you're
what
feeling-
about
So
if
when you're in
feeling that.
orbit, what you're actually doing is free
Coasting.
fall.
You're falling all the time.
Yeah.
God.
That's why you're weightless. I thought there's just no gravity in space, so you're weightless. So I had to like write that in. I had to get Hebrew help on this because we have the Shmata Golem.
the Shmata
and
Golem,
his,
which is the
there's
golem made of socks and old clothes and stuff. Right?
Yeah.
Right.
And in Hebrew, on his forehead is the word pants. And the middle two.
Hadn't caught that.
The middle two letters are on a sock that's removable. That is the what is it called? The Shem. The Shem, I think, is what it's called, right?
Okay.
And those two letters by themselves mean miracle. So it kind of worked out perfectly.
That's amazing. Speaking of socks, it's a great segue into our favorite segment on Hodgman and Friends. Jackson, what socks you rocking?
These might be a Paul Smith. They're
Striped socks.
a striped.
They look good. You got the
Thank
same on
you.
both feet?
Yeah, they're multicolored.
Sure.
They match, right?
Yeah.
Classic. Doc,
So I'm wearing period correct, tube socks.
brown and ochre, would you call
Which
that?
I would call this brown and orange, which is horrifying 70s colors, but I love them.
I love those.
And a pair of
Those would look good as an ascot.
Onitsuko Tigers, which I think are the greatest 70s shoe.
Okay, we don't get sponsors we don't get any money from them, so let's cut that out.
I would love to get
As
it.
always,
Yeah, what are
I
you
am
rocking?
rocking my
Oh, beautiful.
Antiques Roadshow Argyle socks
Ooh.
that I got when I was on the Antiques Roadshow. You can only get them if you're on Antiques Roadshow. As always on Hodgman and Friends, they've never been washed and they are still for sale. All right, next question.
Are they going to be on the Antique Roadshow as an antique sock?
Yes, and
Worn
they're gonna
by
be-
John
They're going to
Hodgmen.
be appraised like that Rolex watch that caused that Vietnam veteran to fall over with delight because it was
And
appraised for
Beretta's
$1 million.
cockatiel.
That's right, Beretta's cockatiel still alive.
Probably still alive.
Here's a question from a fan. Which character in the show surprised you guys in terms of growth and direction that neither of you initially foresaw in episode or plot line?
I would say every character. First thing, Monarch.
Right.
Monarch completely different from the pilot till this movie that you just enjoyed.
Ish? I don't know.
Huge,
I thought for
huge
sure you
change.
would say 21. I mean, 21 is like the obvious.
21
Because he
it has a
physically
plot line.
changed. He
Henchman
stopped to
21.
be, he was the first non-anonymous henchman.
Right.
Right.
And went from, pulled out of the ranks to now he is fully capable and number
He's got
number
a
two
Glenn
with
Danzig build now.
So yeah, I mean, obviously the Monarch goes through a lot of growth. Was it always your intention?
well, every character. Yes, the Monarch, but every character went. When we sat down and worked on season 1, we weren't even thinking about season 2. We were just thinking about finishing season 1 without ruining everything. So getting as far as this movie and, 20 years? Every character went through a growth. John.
Oh, cheers.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. Again.
Cheers.
That's
painful.
good. Oh boy.
Yeah. You taste that in your, like right here.
Did any of the characters go to places that surprised you? Like sometimes the characters get away from you when you're writing fictional characters. They take on a life of their own.
Nothing surprised us.
I didn't expect 24 to die on us.
Yeah, that was hard.
Neither did 24.
That was hard.
That's Billy and White, who were,
Oh, sure.
that surprised me. That like, wow, we can keep fitting them into this thing. I don't know if you remember the character Kim.
Yeah, quite a few questions about
We
Kim.
we did discuss her fate, and it was surprising.
Well, we discussed her fate because we were exhausted from the Kim questions. And we did this to ourselves. We shot ourselves in our foot.
Yeah.
Because we brought out a character that was like this fascinating young girl who had this interest in Dr. Girlfriend, and Dr. Girlfriend said, call me, maybe we're gonna be partners. It was it was playing with tropes.
Right.
But when you toss that out to an audience who's like, that sounds great,
Yeah.
great, and then we don't do it,
Yeah.
it's awful. It's like your dad going, oh, I think maybe we're all gonna go to Disneyland.
Someday.
But he just
He
tosses
was just
it out.
saying something to get
Yeah.
to get you out of his hair.
Yeah, maybe, or he was watching like something on Disneyland. Man, I'd like to go to Disneyland, and we're like, let's go pack.
Suddenly it's a promise.
Yeah, and then we tell Dad. Remember when he said something about Disneyland? He's like,
I said someday.
did I even say that? Yes, you did, sweetie. That's my mom from the other room going, you did, because she kind of wants to go.
So are you looking in your cameras now and saying to the fans,
I'm sorry.
there will never be a Kim spinoff?
I'm saying I'm sorry.
We've been saying it for 10 years.
Yeah, we baited that hook, and then when you all bit it, we're like, nope.
All right. Here's one. What were your favorite episodes to work on? And what was the hardest episode for you guys? This is written in New York, I suppose.
Yeah.
For you guys.
He uses.
For users to
These
write.
guys, yeah.
Yeah.
The hardest episode or the easiest?
Favorite ep, hardest ep. That's how I'm gonna.
My favorite ep to write
Abbreviate.
was Everybody Comes to Hanks.
Are they both specifically writing questions? Because I have such different experiences
All right.
between
Favorite
writing.
episode to work on. Hardest episode for y'all's is to write it down.
Okay. I think we both have the same favorite to work on.
Favorite to work on is.
Right?
Say it together on the count
I don't
of three.
remember the name of it.
One,
I will
two,
say I don't remember the name.
three.
Operation Prom,
Ah, yeah, that was a treat.
right?
That was.
But your probably your individual one is the hang. Everybody comes to hang.
Everybody comes
You
to
wrote
hang
it in 10 minutes.
was my favorite to write. The second one was the one that was like a with the narration. I don't remember what that's called.
Oh, is that? No, that's not Party for Tarzan. Is it?
Yeah, it is.
It is Party for
Party, what an awful name! I can't believe
remember the
that
worst
one.
names
That
that
one.
season.
That one
Yeah.
was a great episode.
A Party for Tarzan. That was my
Party for
favorite one
Tarzan.
to direct. It's
So
not
much fun to
usually a
write.
ton of fun to direct an episode I didn't write. It's not fun to direct my own episodes either, because I'm hypersensitive about them. But that one was so much fun to direct because we did this kind of Goodfellas-y. There were like voiceover trading back and forth between the characters. I had to dig up a lot of like library music that sounded like good old songs, but wasn't, you know.
This is a genuine question.
yeah.
I'm a friend, straight off my dome.
Nice.
You're directing animation.
Yeah.
What do you mean direct? What are you talking about? You just tell the characters say the thing, and then they
Right.
draw it somewhere else.
There's
Why
no,
is that your favorite one to direct? What is involved in directing an episode?
Oh.
What are all the chores?
all the good lord. I mean, for me, it starts with the character design and the background design,
Yeah.
which you're kind of conceiving some of your shots a little bit before you do the backgrounds, because you know, we only do a couple of key background paintings ourselves, and then everything else is up to interpretation from
Right.
the overseas studio storyboard artist. So I want the good painting to be the best it can be. So I have to think ahead of time of like what angles will I actually use. But that's boring.
No, it
But
isn't.
it starts with that, and then storyboards. And I come from a storyboard background, so that's where I do all my directing. You're calling all your shots, and there's no coverage
Quite
in
literally.
animation. Yeah,
Right.
You just have to pick your shots, and those are the only ones that you film.
So obviously, all of this is stuff that goes on in live action as well.
Right.
But this all happens before an actor hits the mic.
No.
Well, then I direct the voices too.
Well, right.
We both direct the voice actors.
Yeah, see, I thought that was the only
that's
thing that ever happened.
That kind of happens.
You mean
when
there are
we're
drawings?
designing. And then we cut a radio play of all those things, which is you're making a lot of decisions there already.
Right.
And then that's what the storyboard artists get. Yeah.
Here's another.
But-
You can't get that
But Operation
information on
Prom.
Wiki. You can only get it here. There's no. What?
Operation Prom was a big, fun thing for us because it's like
We were also here.
To write,
Let me put
that
you in
was
a way,
a
way back
ball,
machine.
yeah.
We had gone through seasons 4.1 and 4.2. We wanted to kill ourselves, everybody around us, and each other, and it was becoming horrifying. And we were starting to write our finale, that was only going to be one episode long, right?
right.
And
Half-hour
we
episode.
we just couldn't do it, and
We did
were-
it, though.
Yeah, it was, but it wasn't great.
Yeah.
And we're just like here, and we don't like phoning one in. We're incapable of making mediocrity intentionally. I promise you, we can do it accidentally. I think everybody can. It wasn't that good, and the network said, "Yeah, you guys can bump this up to like an hour," and it
Right.
just reinvigorated us. And it was like the one time that you and I wrote in the same room
Right.
the whole time. Like we just put ourselves in the Astrobase, the self-same studio that I got sick and vomited on.
That's right.
It's probably the last time Jackson and I ever ate together.
Due to
too.
rice balls.
Yeah, the rice balls. But we had to eat together on that night, which we probably went into separate corners.
Sure.
Yeah.
You get a privacy screen.
And he sat at his desk and I sat on the couch, and I have memories of him working on the Brock and Molotov scene while I'm working on the now in circles famous Rusty Ventures scene.
Sure.
And I'm writing this horrific sexual dialogue, and I kept going, "You want some of this?" He's across the room. I'm like, "You want any of these?" And he's like, "Yeah, you got it." He was like, "Nope, nope." Are you sure? I mean, I'm just gonna do the last one. Okay. Like, I think I'll stay away from that one. Okay.
And during that session, we also came up with about a half dozen stories that would become
The whole next season.
5, which we didn't even know if we were going to get another
I think we
season.
came up with Spanakopita.
And we weren't
during
sure.
that.
We came up with Spanakopita.
Yeah.
A few of them.
We
We
were.
came up with the sort of Godfathers thing.
Yeah. Yeah, we had a big board behind us, and we would just it's when you write, we play. We're speaking in the character.
Right.
And we create things that aren't working for that scene, but they're funny, and we pursue them anyway because we have no discipline. And apparently deadlines to us are kind of not real. So we
Gentle suggestion.
Yeah, like, hey, guys, maybe you should get this on this time of the year. Anybody that's seen this show knows that we absolutely suck at deadlines.
Sure.
Yeah. But we're cobbling together a show, just two men in a...
Whole generations have gone to college between seasons of this show.
moon orbiting space station, writing them on napkins. Like, you're welcome.
Right.
Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, of course.
How dare you? But yeah, we had so much of the next season done. We were on the cusp of going, you know what, we don't want to do any more Venture Brothers. And we finished that episode, we looked up and we're like, got more Venture Brothers coming.
And is there usually someone typing while someone talks, or?
No.
Never.
No.
You can do that?
We do our own typing.
So when you are writing, you're both typing individually.
Yes.
Yeah.
Literally have two. I have a laptop. He's typing on an actual computer at his desk. I'm sitting on a couch. But we're working on the same show in different scenes.
Got it.
And we tried writing together in the beginning, like actually writing together like people do in movies.
Right.
Where somebody's pacing behind them. Here's an idea. And they're like, love it. Tippy, 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 tap. But I'm pacing behind Jackson going, I don't want to say my idea because I don't think it's that good. And Jackson's like, well, maybe if they do this. We're just too timid to make real
To actually
comedy.
pitch ideas to each other.
Yeah, it's so embarrassing.
Because we both know that we're horribly judgmental people.
We're just awful, and I don't want to say something out
and we
loud.
were less kind back then.
And we were
worse people.
The worst is when you deliver your crappy idea under a chuckle. Here's what happens. So you're already going,
news to me.
I approve of the joke.
Of course I approve of my own joke.
Yeah, I approve of the joke, and I'm like, he loves that joke so much. It's not very good. So we're just awful people trying to write, and we realize that if we just break the scene in half, like do the same scene, just break it in half. I'll get you to the door. Jackson's gonna take me to the kitchen, and put those things together, it works so much better because we don't have to do that.
How do you meld the two documents that you're working on?
Copy, paste.
Literally.
Yeah, but who does the copying and the pasting?
We're in the, we'll talk across the
The guy
room.
who can type.
Well, I can copy and paste. I know the shortcut for it, C&P. We're talking across the room, and it can be as basic as, are you using Brock here? And you'd be like, no, I'm gonna use Brock. Is that okay? Sure. Or they can be real intricate, like you have to get this person from there to there, and when they get from there to there, they've changed their outfit. Can you do that?
I don't care what else you write in between. As long as you do this
I trust
for
you.
me, for my scene.
Yeah, I trust you. And it's really that. Like, I think by the end of season 1, we realized that we could both do this alone, and we have a similar voice to the point of it's hard to tell the episodes apart. Like, if you watch a Venture Brothers episode, there's a credit at the end that says written by.
Right.
It's literally, almost every word is written by that person. And yet they work seamlessly into each other.
Right.
And because we established that early on, we could work on the same episode and I wouldn't get something back where I'm like, oh yeah, I don't think Brock sleeps with a teddy bear. Like, we knew everything about each character.
Right.
And as we move forward, we're forging those characters and trusting each other. It's an act of trust. It's a thing that I've never heard of before in writing, where two people wrote every episode for a 20-year season of television. We had no writer's room.
Right.
We had no help with the exception of he would call a friend to phone a friend.
Right.
And I couldn't phone a friend, but I would talk to a stranger. I called to talk to a stranger.
Sure.
About it by going, here's what's happening. And then I would say it right in the middle. I go, I got it. Just by expressing it, using a part of my brain that works with speech, not the part that works with...
Right, to someone else.
Yeah. And but besides those two things where we would ask or talk, we wrote everything ourselves. And that makes us trusting, busy, dogged, angry, never judge. Did you ever get jealous? I was never jealous. Every time you wrote something great, I was like,
only in a good way. Where,
Yeah.
oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Or in a way that makes you, oh, I gotta step it up on this one. Or I gotta try to make him laugh.
I like the episodes of his that mimic my style. Like, I like the smell of my butt, even if it's coming out of his butt. So when, like, he did an episode with, about all the boy adventure characters that have grown up and they're in
Yes,
a...
I think I'm familiar with that one.
You're in that one.
You're in that one.
Right.
I was
Yeah.
Dale Hale.
And I read that one, I'm
Hale.
like, oh, that one's a good one. I could have wrote that one. And then, but I wasn't like,
because it had such a cop-out ending. That's why.
how dare you? Look, you can't get as much action into the show. So many things like, oh, he's talking to a teddy bear. Oh, they're with Zeus. Like, everything is going on, and get an ending that includes a chase,
A climax
down a superhighway. Yeah, your ending is gonna be.
Sometimes you have to choose between story and satisfying ending.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got 3 acts in your outline and you're already at the page count at the end of Act 2 and you go, I guess that's the ending now.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, is this the first
Horrifying.
feature-length story that you've written from scratch? Not a two-parter.
Yeah.
But like, we have more than an hour.
How long was
tell
Gargantua?
this.
Was that an hour?
We've only ever done a TV hour before, which is 44 minutes.
Right.
So this is
Longer than that.
yeah, this is 83 minutes. I think.
And how did the change in format feel?
I can't believe we
Good, bad? Did you notice?
because
or-
we also it wasn't supposed to be this long. It was supposed to be like 70 to 75 minutes.
We overwrite always.
We overwrite, but I don't know where the pages go anymore.
In what respect? What do you say?
I don't know. Like, while we were writing this, I just couldn't believe how much page real estate we were taking up. I'm like, nothing's happened yet. Nothing's happened yet. We're on page 42. Nothing's happened. And I looked
There's
back.
a lot of description.
Yeah. Or just a lot of talk. People in rooms
people
talking
just
about
dialogue.
maybe going to do the next thing. And I looked at some of our old episodes. I was like, how did we do it? And I looked at the Gargantua one. I'm like, Jesus, we got so much in and we moved so much faster. We kind of never used to make a scene that was over 2 pages. And then I looked at
I wouldn't let.
I know why the cage bird kills, and I was like, I cannot believe, if I beat it out, the outline of that, I cannot believe how much stuff we got in that. But it's because it's a 22-minute thing, so you can just dick around with exposition. You go, oh, now there's a Killinger. Now there's a Japanese ghost.
Yeah, nobody
and it
cares.
doesn't. Yeah, you don't have to
Justify it.
Justify it. And
Yeah.
I think this one it felt good to let scenes breathe. Was about it, you know?
It felt like a real movie.
Yeah.
I mean, not that there was anything missing from
It also had this.
the episodes
It
of the
had
bumper length
act
ones, but it
pacing
didn't-
that we.
Yeah.
I used to avoid act pacing. You were always big with your act break. I'm like, act break, schmack break. What does that even mean? I never cared, and I just wanted it to be exciting, funny, realistic, done. That was how I.
You should teach a seminar.
I should.
Exciting, funny, realistic,
Realistic.
and done.
There is
Realistic.
Realistic is the not only a Tandy company that made some of the finest electronics.
That's what I preferred you were. That's what I thought you were referring to. But
There is I know we made a cartoon, and I know we made a cartoon about superheroes and super scientists and adventurers. I always wrote it like they actually existed. And not that there was a truth to it, but there was a believability to it. Like, I knew it was fiction, and we just shrink raise and nonsense. But I wanted every episode to just feel like, sure, I believe you. I believe you. And that was really important, that at any point we didn't drop who the character was or make it that we would do anything that wasn't part of our personal truth. And, you know, these people, the cast lived in our head to this day. If we talk to each other, well, it's over, folks. Show's over.
Right.
We still, oh, here's what Doc should do. Like, we'll never stop doing that. It has been our form of play. It's been our language for so long that it's the place where we can purge the nagging thought of, wouldn't it be funny if Billy and White sold like an Amway shampoo kind of thing?
Right.
And their whole garage was filled with shampoo?
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, if not, that never gets out. And we'll write, if you write it down, it's so sad. Here's something for canceled show.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we can like text it to each other. Wouldn't it be funny? We'd be like, yeah, funny. And it's like, oh, God.
Yeah, we had some of those last night.
Yeah, we can't stop writing the show.
Well, I mean, the characters are so well fleshed out now for being two-dimensional images. And the emotional stakes are, even though it's a show about, as you say, super scientists, even though it goes to weird and cosmic places,
Yeah.
the emotional stakes are always very earthbound and grounded.
And at some point we learned that it can never get too big, you know? Like that became a writing guideline, like, oh, they can't do anything that really affects the world, you know?
Well, we made some...
And that's one of the reasons why the White House episode is a mistake. Like, oh, there shouldn't have been a president. They shouldn't have gone to the White House.
Yeah.
And when I was writing a time travel story that will never get made now because it was for season 8 before we got canceled, I realized they cannot do, their time problem cannot affect the rest of the world. You have to find a way
Right, it's low stakes,
to
high
limit
stakes.
it. Yeah, exactly.
Also, it was the time, one moment there, John.
That brings the realism somehow.
Do you remember,
I'll be right back.
Do you remember Heroes?
Yes.
I remember the biggest problem with Heroes was every season ended with they have to literally save
the world. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like that. I don't care. Like
Ghostbusters movies have that problem now.
I don't. Yeah, or worse, these superhero movies have to save the universe.
Yeah.
Save oh, we've already saved the world.
Yeah.
Let's save.
No, save this bank from Electro. That's it.
Yeah, no, save Timmy from this teacher who's gonna just say things to him that's gonna make him feel bad for the rest of his life. Like that's the kind of stakes that I like.
Yeah.
I like low stakes. The one episode, this isn't a question, but it should be, what episode did we never get to write? And I wanted to write that, I have 2. There's Heads in the Water.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, which is gonna be the cheapest episode. It's just they crash and they've heads sticking in
Right.
the water. And it's all dialogue.
Bobbing for an entire episode.
Bobbing, dialogue. They talk about what they can feel. Maybe they're in it would have been hilarious.
Heads in the Water is great.
It's a great episode.
Every once in a while, the camera just dips a little and you can just make out a little bit of an Atlantis, but we don't get to go there.
Yeah, and the other episode I wanted to write was...
Just have a message in a bottle bob by, and then it can literally be a bottle episode.
Yeah.
Boom,
Exactly.
in the kitchen.
Right.
The other one I wanted to write was, it starts off like a regular Venture Brothers episode. A henchman dies and everything pivots. And then you're having the call of 21 calling his wife. Yeah, I'm real sorry, but your husband died in service, and it goes to her life, and then you see like that he had a kid, and that he had a daughter from another relation, and it has nothing to you learn nothing about the Venture Brothers.
Unfortunately, it was a deleted scene from Austin Powers.
Did they? Oh, I just
There was
wanted
like that. Yeah, every
it's
time a
awful.
henchman died,
but not
there'd be
crying,
like
but just like
a mourner.
really learning about it. So
Yeah.
when you go back to that henchman and see him die, you're like,
I think I was trying to do that a little with, like, when I brought Battle Axe in. Like, when you killed orangutan. I was like, oh, I want to meet his wife
there's
and see his, like, crappy
Right, because
van that's
people's worlds
impounded.
end every day, even if the world doesn't end.
Yeah,
Like,
there was a reason why I didn't do that episode. Ultimately, it would be a failure because people would be like, what happened to the show? Like, this isn't funny. We'd have to get new actors, and it'd be like, it'd be a nightmare.
You'd find a way to bring it back.
It's so
around
much
to the
funnier
end.
if we
It would
kill half
somehow-
of a comedy team.
Yeah.
Well, we only have 176 more days to go.
let 'em rip.
So let's do a little lightning round.
Sure.
Yeah.
What's the Monarch's favorite ABBA song?
I think it's Waterloo. What do you think it is?
I'll go with that. I still think he ticks on take a chance, take a chance.
Take a chance, take a chance.
Yeah, well, like, it goes like
And he
this.
makes Dr. Girlfriend
she
do
goes,
that part
Take
so
a
he can
chance,
sing.
take a chance, take a,
Yeah.
take a chance.
No,
take
it's
a
quicker.
chance,
It's
take a
quicker.
chance, take a chance,
Take a chance, take a chance, take a chance, quicker. It's chance
I don't want to
on
do
me.
this anymore.
Yeah. No.
What are some very specific references to your real lives that you added to the show? Example, they
Oh my
offer an
God.
example.
Okay.
Hank can't erase the big board, Mr. Reed being colored like Jackson's childhood Christmas ornament.
Sure.
There are 2 right there. They just gave you 2.
Yeah. The
Two
biggest one
answers.
is you had testicular
I had
torsion.
testicular torsion when I was younger. My testis did a like a 180-degree turn, and had to have them turned by a professional. So that actually happened, and I put that in the show.
Here's another y'all. What's each of y'all's favorite thing to come out of Venture Brother? A character, a story arc, a fan response. Fan response is one of the suggestions there.
Oh, I mean, I own a house,
Yes, so do I.
which I couldn't have done without Adventure Bros. I
Very
got to meet
relatable.
Jarvis Cocker.
Jarvis Cocker talked about us on stage.
That was one of the highlights. Jarvis getting to use a Pulp song and then having Jarvis Cocker, having Pulp reunite after we did it.
Yeah.
And start playing that song during their tour because they heard it was getting more play in America because we put it in our show. And then they played Radio City and Jarvis Cocker called us out because we were in the audience.
Oh.
And that was like,
That's very
that was
special.
one of the coolest things that's the coolest thing that's ever happened to me, I guess.
Called out at Radio City Music Hall.
Yeah. I got to write with you for all these years. That was-
Oh, shit, you went all...
I'm sorry. That's like, it was our partnership.
I got a house and met Jarvis Cocker. What do you got, Doc? Just friendship, I guess.
I got it, like, but more than friendship. Like, Jackson and I don't really hang out. We have a loving professional relationship that we have moved for 20 years, and I never looked at him and go, if he says a word, I'm going to jump down his throat and murder him. Like, we have maintained
I don't know if that's true, but...
love and respect. I've never wanted to murder you.
Drink. Anytime someone lies, drink.
I mean, I've had God try to murder me, but I've never had to. Yeah, they're pointing like I think I'm being punished here, but yeah, I think it was an interesting and beautiful relationship, and living with these characters, we gave birth to people that, I'm not going to have any kids anytime soon, and we've made kids that everybody talks about. And,
Right.
Yeah.
You just used the past tense.
What?
That you had this
Yeah.
writing relationship.
Yeah.
Is this the last of the Venture Brothers?
Well,
Apparently.
Venture Brothers was canceled, not by us.
Right.
Like, who knows what if you offer me money, I will come to your house and polish your floor. I don't care. I'm not a proud man. Is that the word I want?
Don't say it. People start
what I
asking
got.
you to do cameo
You're right.
stuff. Yeah.
I'm not going to do cameo
Don't
stuff.
pretend that you'll actually do any of this.
Well, you can put away your money. It's not going to happen. I know you wanted your floor cleaned.
Hey, this is Billy Quiz Boy.
This is Billy Quiz
But
Boy.
I'm sure that I join many in hoping that you guys
Yeah.
get
No,
to,
we're not.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Y'all get to revisit these characters in some form or
Never
another.
say never, but yeah, nobody's offering. So,
Okay.
and we don't own them, so it's not
How
like
do you-
we can
how
go,
do you
oh, we're
feel
going to do
about-
a quick, let's do a Kickstarter to make another movie.
Yeah, we can't do that.
it.
We
We
can't
don't,
do
this
that.
is not our show.
What is 21's favorite trip hop album? And if it's not Dummy, why do you hate good music?
It's a Sneaker Pimps album. Help yourself to which Sneaker
Right.
Pimps. He's a big Sneaker Pimps fan.
Yeah. We're not 21.
We're not 21. This is
Yeah.
21's favorite. Why
yeah,
are
we love Dummy.
Dummy's a masterpiece.
Right.
Yeah.
What's your favorite quick/overlooked/throwaway line? A one-liner that you love.
Meow?
Meow.
Meow.
Yeah, it's a running gag
Yeah.
that I don't think anybody has realized is a running gag, and it's always funny to us. We had meow to the end of anytime a woman's name comes up, meow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Laura Linney, meow. Does James?
James Urbaniak,
Is he
voice
aware
of
of it?
Dr. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Did we have to tell him?
He finally caught on to how we did it, and yeah.
Oh. Because I remember when he first tried to do it, it'd be like, Laura Linney.
Yeah, meow. And we were like, no. It's really, unfortunately, you have to talk exactly like us. We have to give you a line reading.
Yeah.
It's almost
Wait,
under your breath,
you
meow.
dubbed in the meow for Urbaniak?
No, we hit the talk back. We're like, can you do it like this?
Can you just,
Like
just
a little
throw away
under
the
your
meow.
breath? Yeah.
Throw
like,
away the meow.
Yeah.
Oh, so you gave him a direct line reading.
Brenda Vacara, meow. You know what I mean? Like
Marilyn McCoo, meow.
Yeah.
The thing I've always wanted to know is, what is Rusty's middle name? It always started as Thaddeus S. Venture. What does the S stand for?
Nothing. It's like Harry S. Truman.
A little history
It's
lesson.
invented. He'll probably make up a lot of oh, well, it's for sexy, or it's for science, for super science.
It's
in
like
fact.
T.S. Garp, totally
Yeah.
sexy.
Yeah.
Is that what T.S. Carp stands
That's
for?
what he said in the book and in the
In the book,
movie.
yeah.
Right.
What is Rusty's favorite musical?
I think it's.
You had an answer. Or
I think we came up with Starlight Express.
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah.
Because
the roller skating.
Yeah.
It's got the most zazz.
Yeah, it's either Starlight Express or Rent, and it would be he would.
I don't think he would like
He
Rent
would
at
kind
all.
of. He would kind of sell it because
I really don't think he would
I don't
like
think
Rent.
he's seen Starlight Express. I don't think he's seen Rent, but he's seen an advertisement for it.
Right.
Have you heard of this yet? Have you heard of this? Apparently, there's a building with these kids that they're singing all the time.
Actually, my favorite show is the Milford Plaza. It looks great from the trailers.
Yeah.
It's the lullaby of old Broadway.
It's a lullaby. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think he's ever gone to a musical. I think he sees ads and goes, that looks fantastic.
What are the full rules for the cow spotting game Brock and Hunter play while they're driving?
Oh, very simple. We played it on road trips when I was a child, and everybody's on one side of the car or the other, you know. And if there's a field of cows on your side, that's 1 point. You go, cows on my side. You have to call your own cows, you know. And so you kind of hope that your opponent doesn't notice when they're passing some cows.
Right.
You sit there and you go,
You
had
engage them in
cows and you missed them.
conversation. Yeah.
Yeah. And then if there is a cemetery on your side, you lose all your cows. Yeah. But your opponent has to call it. Your opponent has to see your cemetery. Yeah.
Right. Did you finish scripting season 8? And how closely does the movie resemble the season that you
Well,
had in
obviously
mind?
not at all.
I turned in 2 episodes for season 8, and I was more than halfway through 2 or 3 more. I was kind of jumping around.
Yeah, I had fully written.
You were kind of.
I had fully written an episode and a half and had 2 more in the back burner.
Right.
And we had discussed which ones there were going to be.
But some of what we were doing, we condensed and put in this special. Not as much as I thought.
You know, when we started writing this, we really wanted to have a condensed version of season 8. We had
Yeah.
these ideas that we just didn't want to let go of. It's very difficult when somebody says, everything you've been working on, you can't use. Oh, hey, you want to use what you've been working on? But you can't, because it's only now.
Right.
It's hard to let go of these ideas.
And also, you left your show here last season,
Yeah.
and you have to answer those questions. So you can't just make up a fun story. You got a lot of baggage.
Right.
But
Oh, there was so much luggage.
we used a lot of. I mean, Hank's story in the special would have taken him all season. I
Right.
think. Like he would have been on the road a long time, and the mother stuff would have been.
Yeah,
there would have been a build up to it, and some Mr. X and everything else.
And a
That's kind
character
of it.
that-
Everything else is kind of
A
fresh.
character that we had thought of, he was the old sovereign
Right.
of the guild,
Force majeure.
He was going to be this kind of, his resurrection and eventual demise, and everything that he brings with him was going to be a big part of this season. And we had to put that into 2 pieces of dialogue, just 2 pieces of dialogue.
Right.
And we had mapped him out.
montage flashback.
Yeah, and a tiny montage flashback where he doesn't speak.
Right.
So now that the movie is done and out, and the adventures of the Venture Brothers are where they are, will you work together on something else?
If called to, I mean, if the light is like, you know, the mayor or somebody shines that light, it's a both of our profiles as drawn by like
Hirschfeld, the famous Broadway illustrator, who inserted all the secret.
his
Right.
daughter's,
His daughter's name,
yeah,
Nina.
yeah, Nino's written on my collar. Then it'll be our profiles like on a light on a cloud, and we'll see it, even though we live in different states.
Right.
I would assume they'd probably shoot it up at the same time.
It's just like a bat signal
like
kind
a
of
bat
deal,
signal.
but with a Hirschfeld
But it's
caricature.
Hirschfeld
Hirschfeld
caricatures. Well, I have a little surprise for you guys. This is a Hodgman and Friends special.
Are we gonna go up on the roof and see that?
We always try to make a wish come true. We reanimated the corpse of Al Hirschfeld, and he's drawn your caricatures.
And you put it on a spotlight.
And we're gonna show it to you right now.
Oh my God.
Oh, they really
There it
captured,
is.
That's amazing.
They really captured all the Ninas in your collar.
Yeah, I think my collar's made up of Nina.
So whether that's projected on the moon or the clouds or wherever it is, I hope that signal goes up soon, because I love you, I love your friendship, I love what it has produced, and I love the Venture Brothers. So thank you very much for being here. Jackson Publick, Doc Hammer, cheers. And remember,
Chin chin.
tip your driver, and you can unbuckle now.